Why hello everybody, Spencer here, also known as Lego Dude 11, and in today's video, this is my X-Men 97, however numbers work, now, spoiler review, so without further ado, let's discuss. Alright guys, so, like I just said, little bit of some housekeeping out of the way here that I wanted to mention before. Like I said, this is a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen any of the series, I highly recommend you go watch this before. Anyway, I sound a little nasally today. I have allergy. It's allergy season. I don't like the transition. I love summer a lot, but I like spring. Anyway, I'm not going to go into a full rant. Anyway, I've had some allergies, nose, getting over this, so if I sound a little stuffy, but today was the finale, and I had to make the video, so I'm here. And fortunately, it wasn't yesterday. I had a sore throat a couple of days ago, but I'm here. I'm with it. So, I have some water, I drank some tea earlier, and I'm getting it. So this is X-Men 97, a year after the X-Men animated series that came out in the 90s, many years ago, before I was born. And I watched this show growing up. And this and the X-Men, this and the animated Fantastic Four series are my favorite animated series. There's also Spider-Man, the Radioactive Spider-Man, and the Spectacular Spider-Man, which are really good in their own right. The Spectacular. I love Spider-Man. I love those two Spider-Mans. But this series is so good growing up. And the Fantastic Four one I loved as well because I am biased towards the way it looks and everything. And the way the characters are in that Fantastic Four one. But this is how you do. Can I say without even having started talking about anything about the series? This is how you do a season and a reboot right. It's not even a reboot, a continuation correctly. Because people will say, "Oh, Marvel's dead. Oh, Star Wars is dead. Don't continue that. Don't do this. Don't do that." Franchises are dead. This is how you do one right. And I'm comparing this to what just finished, the animated series The Bad Batch, because I thought, I didn't know what the point was. I understood what the point of this series was. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little mad. Should I get it's mad? It's fine. But anyway, so this series, by the way, the Newton brothers, who did the soundtrack for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, did the theme and the score for this. Oh, it's so good. The theme song is so good. It's so epic as ever. And also, not just that, but we get new, how the theme song shows the characters. It shows the characters, and it shows new clips every week. It does the clip show. It doesn't do the old. It does some of the old recurring moments from the old theme, from the old intro. But it shows new pictures, and the picture where Jubilee's running to that fence, it's the new character Sunspot. Which the new character Sunspot's kind of in the role of Jubilee. He's what's going on here? I don't know what's going on. Which I just said, but I'm a mutant? Who are the X-Men? Blah, blah, blah. So the first episode's kind of Cyclops and the X-Men coming in to track down the source of a new anti-mutant technology. Next one is dealing with Magneto and the whole, how he's owning the X-Men, how he's leader of the X-Men now, and then there's a trial on court, he's a bad guy, he shouldn't run the X-Men, and then a bad guy called the Executioner comes in, tries to take down the courtroom, and the next one is the one that I think really gets this. If you didn't think the first two were great, because the first two came out at the same time, and I was like, man, this series is awesome, and then the second episode, Jean Grey has her baby, Nathan. And one of my favorite moments of the episode itself, in the second episode, is when Jean goes, "We're having the baby," and Wolverine goes, or it's coming, he's here, and he's like, "Who? Apocalypse?" That was the best. But actually, that moment sets up a good moment for the finale. But then episode 3 happens, and that's when Mr. Sinister comes in. And he's the freakiest thing. I've watched the original series, but I forgot if they made him creepy in there. I gotta rewatch the old stuff. But this one, oh, it's so good. It's so freaky, and I love it. Mr. Sinister's awesome. The way they do these effects, like the animation design, it's great. Speaking of freaky, they have Motendo in the next episode, and Motendo, look him up because I think it's a he. I believe it's a he or a she. I don't know, but the way he talks, the way the character talks, it's like he, but it sounds like there's like female voice in there. Don't know who. I gotta do some research on that because I want to do some research on who did that. But this video game episode was awesome, and not only that, this is a let me elaborate because it's something that I've been working up inside. I love Rick and Morty so much and their creativeness, but I didn't really understand what went on in the minds of the Bad Batch. But these episodes are 30 minutes with like 3 or 4 minutes of credits, roughly, and then you have in this 4th episode you get Motendo, the Motendo story with Jubilee and Sunspot interacting, like their character dynamic, and then you get Life Death Part 1 at the end for like the last 10 minutes. It's so good. I don't know how they've done this, created this mold, this connective creative story, and then I'm looking at Bad Batch going, what did you do in an hour 15-minute episode, an hour 15-minute finale? What? Sorry, that's just a little thing I had to spit out there, but I love this one. And then we get in episode 5, spoilers, this is the big spoilery episode. This is the big moment where I'm going to mention some stuff if I haven't mentioned stuff already. Where, oh, by the way, Mr. Sinister wanted Nathan in episode 3, and Nathan goes away with Bishop. But in episode 5, Gambit dies. It's so sad, and I was like, what? And then you see a funeral for him, I think in Bright Eyes, episode 7, Bright Eyes. But episode 5, Remember It, Gambit takes down a big, giant Godzilla-like sentinel that's just rotating its head. And Nathan comes in. You see Cable come in, and he's like, Mom, I'm sorry. And she's like, what are you sorry for? And she sees his eyes, and you're like, oh, it's my son, Nathan. So it was a great moment, because I didn't realize when I was watching Deadpool 2 with my friends this semester, my one friend goes, Ryan, who I talked about in my BG video, goes, oh yeah, Cable's Scott Summers' son, Cyclops. I'm like, he is? I never knew that. Because I never really watched the full series fully until, like I watched it, and I watched some other episodes, I'm like, oh my god, you're right, I didn't think about that. And watching this series, it makes a lot of sense that Cable, I just watched Deadpool 2, and I never watched it fully until years ago, and I was like, he is? Oh my god, you're right. So, when he comes in, it's like, Nathan, when Cable comes in, it's like, I'm Nathan. Well, he doesn't say I'm Nathan, but it was a great episode. And the ending fight with Gambit and Rogue was something else. This episode is something else. And if you didn't think this episode was great, just wait till the 3-part finale, because you're not ready for this one. Life Death Part 2 is episode 6 is the next one. And this was alright. This was Life Death Part 2. I mean, this one was alright. It wasn't my favorite. The reason I don't like this one nearly as much as the rest of the series, and I'll explain as to why. I like the character Forge and Storm that working together. That I didn't have a problem with, but I thought this episode was interesting because it brings back. I can't remember. Oh yeah, it was this episode where Charles Xavier comes back. And that's a big surprise. It surprised me. I was like, whoa! But at the beginning of the episode has Ronan and Starbird. Is it Starbird or Firebird? One of the two. And I'm like, this is a very great sequence. What's happening? But I expected the episode, because it's called Life Death Part 2, I expected it to be about Storm and the Bird and Forge happening there, not this completely other random thing that's happening and then Professor X. What they should have done is either called it a separate name like Motendo / Life Death, or had a separate episode for the Charles Xavier thing. It's not that I didn't like the story. It's not that what I'm saying right now is a harsh on the season or a bashing on the season. I'm not at all. I am just saying I was a little confused when I started the episode, and I was like, huh? What, am I missing something? Did I miss an episode or something? Huh? So anyway, I just thought that. But besides that, I thought that the Charles Xavier return was so dope and so surprising. And then the life death thing that Storm got her powers, or no, she doesn't get her powers. I don't think in this, or does she get her powers back in this episode? Yeah, she does. She gets them back. She gets them back in this episode, and she creates like big whirlwind, and then she gets like this new costume on. It looks so dope, and it's literally in, or she's like in the finale. Like she has like the outfit on. She has the outfit on the whole finale, and it looks great. So I thought Life Death Part 2 was okay. And then Bright Eyes, we pick things back up, where we get back into, like, the finale. This isn't the finale, but, like I said, the finale is 3 parts, and Bright Eyes, this whole season's awesome. But this episode 7 sets up the finale. Brainiac, with the X-Men finds Sentinel inventor Bolivar Trask, realizing they've been played by something. But basically it's saying they're hunting down Bolivar Trask to learn more about the Sentinels. You know, the Sentinels are their big one baddie. And basically they, you know, they had the Sentinel, big giant Godzilla Sentinel thing with Gambit, and Rogue is on her revenge kick, like rampage mode, like WandaVision, like when Vision died, she was like, like that, like, or when she lost her kids in Multiverse of Madness, she was like that. So Rogue is out there trying to find Bolivar Trask, and then we see Captain America meet up with her, and she's telling him, fine, I'll like asking him with Captain America where Bolivar Trask is, and then she's like, if you won't help me, I'll go find him. So they find him, and the X-Men are trying to fight him, and he turns into some like zombie human sentinel thing. And it's freaky. And the other thing I love about the show is Morph, the character Morph. I love all the characters are great. Some of the voices are the same voices that they voiced, but this one, Storm is the same, Beast is the same, Wolverine is different, unfortunately, but Morph, people were mad that he's bi. I don't give a crap. It's just a character. It's just a superhero. I'm looking at him as a superhero. I don't care. But, however, when he transforms into other people, like he transforms into Quicksilver in this episode in Bright Eyes, and I'm like, where did he come from? He transformed into Psylocke in episode 2, I believe, and I'm like, where did she come from? And then in the finale, he transforms into Hulk, and he goes, Morph Smash! And it was awesome. And I'm like, where did he come from? I'm like, oh, that's right, it's Morph. And I'm like, how can I forget it's Morph? I'm like, it's Morph. Like, where this? And I believe he transformed into a blonde chick in episode 3, The Fire Before Flesh. Excuse me. That was when he fought evil Jean Grey. By the way, there was 2 Jean Greys in Fire Before Flesh, or Fire May Flesh, which was Madeline Pryor. There were 2 Jean Greys. That was that was the cliffhanger in episode 2. That was awesome. But like I said, Bright Eyes was good. They fought him. The Morph transformed. They had a big fight, and then Tolerance is Extinction. Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 is the big finale. And I'm telling you guys, this is how you do a season done right. You don't need to be you can have it, you can have end it in any way, but you could say to be continued or not to be continued. You can just say the end and do whatever you like. And really, to me, it's fine. I mean, it would have been weird, but like Bad Batch to me just kind of felt like, what was the point? Anyway, I'm going to elaborate after I talk about the finale, which is right now. So, episode 1, part 1 of the finale, episode 8, Tolerance is Extinction, a little bit confusing. Don't want to make it too confusing. The X-Men must unite to face a new threat, which is, hang on a minute. Bear with me. I'm going to turn off the volume. So they all gear up. Nightcrawler's back. Nightcrawler. By the way, Nightcrawler was in episode 5. Did I mention that? No, I didn't. Remember it. By the way, the reason the episode's called Remember It is when Gambit defeats the Sentinel and he gets, stabbed in the heart, he goes, my name's Gambit, mon ami. Remember it. So, basically episode 8, Tolerance to Extinction Part 1, all the zombie Sentinels come in. The Minister Sinister and Trask, or not Trask, whatever his name is. Mr. Sinister and Bastion team up and are trying to create these human Sentinel things, and then the Summers, Jean Grey, Scott Summers, Cyclops, and Nathan, who's Cable, go and take them all down. Are on a mission and go take them all down. And then that's the first part. There's like a huge fight with all of them. They're flying all around. That's what I see right now on screen, and it's awesome. And then they turn their jet into a car, and they're just killing all of them. And at the end, there's this big thing, like, Magneto is right. Magneto was trying to do this, like, Earth event. Earth event? Let me try to make sense. Does this, like, magnetic scenario around the world. And basically, at the end, the tease is, like, Wolverine's like, where's the professor when you need him? And talking to Morph. And then you see this crash landing of, oh, by the way, Life Death Part 2, like, he sees, like, Professor X sees that there's, like, a vision that's happening, like, I have to go save my mutants. Oh, yeah, and in this episode 8, we see when Magneto's doing this thing, we see Spider-Man. We see Spider-Man from Spider-Man the Animated Series. We see Silver Samurai. And then we see Omega Red. We see Silver Samurai and Omega Red, which is... yeah, literally, and he's in a tank. Omega Red is in the tank, and it's so dope. I'm like, they're just there. Spider-Man just shows up, and they're like, there's Silver Samurai, there's Omega Red, and then it's like, where's the professor when you need him? You see a crash landing, and opens up, and it's Professor X, Charles Xavier. He's like, to me, my X-Men, with his telepathy, and that's how the episode ends. And then part 2. Part 2 is all about, Storm comes back and is talking with Jean Grey about how she got her powers back, which is awesome, and I want to be very descriptive, not just say awesome, but it was awesome. I'm lost for words. And then, in this episode, Talents of Distinction Part 2, Magneto goes down to the X-Men and is like, make your choice. Who wants to join me to take down the... He's basically calling himself Magnus. He created this whole magnetic thing across the Earth. So Rogue joins them, and Sunspot joins them, the new kid on the team, and he's like, I don't know what's going on here, I'll just join you. And Rogue was like, how many people died on Genosha? And which is the place where Gambit was, where he died. He's like, I'm joining Magneto. They apparently, Rogue and Magneto had like a romantic relationship years ago, so they all go off together, and then there's this big fight at the end, which is to be continued. Jean Grey has a fight with Mr. Sinister, takes him down. Actually takes him down in the next part, but makes him older. And then Magneto starts having a fight with Professor X. All the mutants are fighting, and Sunspot apologizes to Jubilee, and Jubilee also kisses Sunspot earlier. And Professor X is fighting Magneto, and then when Magneto puts the helmet on Professor X, Wolverine stabs Magneto. You think he's dead, but then Magneto just takes all the adamantium out of Wolverine, and that's how the episode ends. What a great... This season can do cliffhangers so stupidly goddamn well, and I love it so much. And then in the finale, in the third part of the finale, they have the big showdown. You're like, what's going to happen? And basically there's a flashback inside the head of Professor X and Charles Xavier that they're back at a bar. But this is all in their head because they're just unconscious on a table. And you see Daredevil, you see fighting all the human Sentinels, you see Doctor Strange, you see Black Panther, and then Bastion just has all these Sentinels and he's holding the X-Men hostage. And he just looks so menacing. And this is what I love about this season and this show, is that these characters, these villains look menacing. I didn't get any of that in the Bad Batch. Any. It kind of makes me mad, guys. Can you tell I'm angry? Not about this. Not about this. About Bad Batch. But anyway, I've already ranted enough about that show. So basically, he's holding all the LM hostage, and Jean Grey has the fight. Oh yeah, there's what's his face? There's Psylocke and all this other people. There's there's Black Panther, and then I think this was there's Daredevil. Let me see who this is. Cloak and Dagger come in. Cloak and Dagger come in animated form. I think that's Red, Omega Red, and then Red. It's Silver Centurion is somebody else, but that's Red. Oh, Crimson Dawn. Is it Crimson Dynamo? Is that Crimson Dynamo? I think it might be. I'm just realizing that now. I have to do this quick thing. This is different. I've never done this on a video before. There's a woman. Oh, she's that woman. I'm gonna have to do it on. I'm gonna have to go and do a deep dive. This is crazy. This is crazy. I love all these characters that came in. But Bastion is taking them down, like I said, with the Sentinels. And Cable is gone. He does something. Sunspot takes him out, but Jean Grey takes out, like I said, with all this DNA ability, with her DNA ability, she takes Mr. Sinister and turns him old. And then he goes over to Morpheus like, show me my face. Which is freaky. His face old is so freaky. But then there's this big battle, or Magneto and Professor X come back. Basically, Bastion is going to blow up the entire thing. And then these Magneto torpedoes come in, and Beast is like, this is going to be the biggest blasters. Oh no, Sunspot. Sunspot grabs Jubilee. It's like, this is going to be the biggest explosion since the Ice Age. And so they get out. They try to get out. But Forge is on a device. And Wolverine's laying there unconscious as well. And Morph's just sitting next to him. And Jubilee and Sunspot made it out. But now, you see, then you see like a little time limit, like say 6 months later. And it said, Bishop comes back and talks with Forge. And he's like, the X-Men are lost in time. Someone's pulled them through time. So we got to go find the X-Men. So that's very interesting. And then you see Rogue, Nightcrawler, Cyclops, Jean Grey. Cyclops and Jean Grey are on somewhere else. And Beast, Professor X, Magneto, Nightcrawler, let's see, Rogue, Beast, Professor X, Magneto, and Charles Xavier. I messed up that up. But all those characters, Beast, Nightcrawler, Rogue, Professor X, Charles Xavier, Magneto, all of them are in Egypt, like 3,000 years ago. And Jean Grey and Cyclops saw Nathan somewhere else on another planet, and it says to be continued. And then you hear in like a little end credit, like they're like, Beast is like, oh dear. And then you see in an end credit. In my head, I'm like, wouldn't this be where Apocalypse was? And then the next scene is Apocalypse going, kind of like Thanos, like, I'll do it myself. Oh, present day Genosha. He's like, so much death. So Apocalypse is coming. Which I think is funny because Wolverine mentioned that earlier in the season. So I can't wait. I can't wait. Sign me up. I thought this series was awesome. This really got me forward to every Wednesday. And this is the thing that I enjoyed. I've enjoyed most of Marvel's Phase 4 and 5. I've not been as hypercritical about it. I understand it's not the best. But I've not been like, boo! The only one I've been boo on is Secret Invasion. But even then, I had stupid fun, but I didn't like it as a product. I won't watch it ever again because it didn't feel like a good continuity story. She-Hulk, I thought was okay. I thought was better than Secret Invasion. But this, however, this was awesome. This is how you do a continuation correctly. Star Wars Bad Batch. But anyway, I just love this. This was an A+. This was a 10 out of 10 show. Give me more. Season 2, Season 3, I know that they're making 2 more seasons of it. I don't know if that's what they're ending with. I don't know if they're making more out of that. Doesn't matter. Just give me more. I know X-Men can do no wrong. Daddy Kevin Feige, give me more X-Men because I know that you love the X-Men. Give me the X-Men. Give me the animated series. Put the X-Men in the MCU. That's what we need now. And I know you're doing that with Deadpool, so I cannot wait for Deadpool 3. I got this shirt for this review, and then I got my Deadpool shirt for Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, I can't wait for that movie. But stay tuned for what's coming out. This is officially the summer movie season. Summer season's here. Movies and TV is awesome. It's all happening. Click over there. Be sure to watch and follow Boba Fett Jedi Master Instagram. The link down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me at Boba Fett Jedi Master. Links down below. Click hard to watch videos all around. Whoa, do that fun stuff on my channel. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm, play Lego. Peace out, everyone. Bye.